Good morning, grasshoppers. I have some information. I received a newspaper yesterday. Dandy Andy, sizzling swimsuit pullout inside. I got my oil changed and they gave me a free newspaper. I'm happy about it. Very happy about it, actually. I proceeded to go online and look. I'm sure the article is posted, but it's just not coming up quickly in Google when I search Montebello and So this is on page 2, okay? And I'm going to read it to you. And a couple other things on note in case you don't want to listen to the whole thing because you like clicking off when people are reading important stuff. But this is very important. There's some seriously really important stuff going on in our society right now, and it's under the radar a little bit. But enough people know about it now that there's nothing that's going to stop it. It's coming right out. Anyway. This Saturday in Ottawa, any sovereigns, any freemen, anybody, free thinkers, whatever titles you have for yourself, whatever you might think that you are or want to be or whatever, should you decide that you in any way support the investigations that's being done by the World Freeman Society and such in London, where they have arrested a judge for not giving his oath under Magna Carta. Please, we would love to meet up in Ottawa. We're thinking about maybe going to A Channel and asking them, or simply standing out front. This is not a protest by definition, in my opinion. It's just like talking and stuff. We're not really thinking about bringing signs or megaphones, although everybody's allowed to do whatever they want, right? Shirts. If we all wear shirts, we will have some shirts in town that say no consent, no jurisdiction. I am not that legal fiction. This could be quite possibly be the contributing factor to how we can change the society from a society of competition to a society of cooperation. So all of the things that we need to explain this to people, they already have. They can take out their wallet, they can do all these different things. It's not the free man on the land so much as that is a derivative of this truth. So this truth, this basic cause, will determine the effects of everything that comes from that. And it all comes back to biometrics, okay? It's all biometrics, and we know who's doing it now. We know how all of this is going to play itself out. And in the next 2-3 months, with all the distractions that are taking place and all of the love that you want to send to Japan and everywhere else, we need to keep focused on just spreading this information. It's just very basic information. It's going to come out no matter what. Police dressed up as protesters. Okay, so in Montebello, they were caught. Okay, they were blatantly caught, and in 3 years ago, after the Montebello Summit, I'll read this to you from the St. Catharines Standard. Calls for Montebello inquiry renewed. Labor leaders renewed their calls for an independent inquiry into police procedure during the North American Leaders Summit in Montebello, Quebec. Unsatisfied with Public Security Minister Stockwell Day's repeated rejections to call a public inquiry, the Quebec's Federation of Labour joined the Communications, Energy and Paperworks Union of Canada in demanding the inquiry. So thank you to those unions for demanding that inquiry. The union sent the letter to Prime Minister Stephen Harper on Thursday asking for the inquiry. Day has told people to complain directly to the police services or the Provincial Ethics Committee. The Provincial Ethics Committee, okay? And then we have that Federal Ethics Committee that there's all the corruption going on with. There are a lot of good people in the government, I'm sure of it, okay? There's good people everywhere. They just don't know that they have so much power in their job. Nobody understands that your signature is everything. This is the whole government is based on, and it's everybody's being appointed, and you're an agent. If you work for the government, you're an agent. Your signature is now part of that corporation, okay? So they use all the signatures for everything. Everything's governed by signatures. This is not news. Shouldn't be news. Anyway, Quebec Provincial Police have admitted that 3 officers were used as plants in the crowd during the 2-day summit, but deny the officers were attempting to provoke protesters to commit violence. Okay, so this was released yesterday, being Tuesday, March 22nd, 2011, in the Ottawa Sun on page 3. This being the first page, of course, which would make you want to jump right to this, here. Well, like all that money. Oh my God, that's so much money. And sizzling swimsuit and the sun, just jump through it, Bunnies are in here. Oh, lots of that stuff. Anyway, right in the middle. So, page 3, very important. Cops protest act wrapped. Code of conduct violated at Montebello's summit. An undercover Quebec cop who shoved and swore at demonstrators while armed with a rock at an infamous 2007 protest in Montebello, Quebec, was convicted of violating the province's police code of conduct in a French-language decision dated March 14th. But the Sûreté du Québec Sergeant Jean-François Boucher was cleared of more serious charges, including abuse of authority and inciting violence, by a recent decision in the province's Police Oversight Committee. Doesn't matter. The public did their investigation. We know that the cop was involved. Whether we think he did wrong or not, it doesn't matter. All of this stuff shouldn't matter. The fact that he was dressed up as a protester, and that same mentality needs to be applied to the whole G20, right? 2 other SQ sergeants, Joey Laflamme and Patrick Tremblay, were acquitted on all counts. Boucher, Laflamme, and Tremblay were part of an SQ team that was to infiltrate, identify, and arrest extremist protesters. They were the most extremist protesters there. Extremist protesters do not dress up like extremist protesters to find more extremist protesters. Extremist protesters, by all nature of common sense, would not affiliate with other extremist protesters unless they were introduced on a non-extreme platform. I can't wait till the police and everybody just start thinking. It would be great. Their faces hidden by bandanas, they were first sent to Montebello City Hall, which is a breach of the peace, by the way, apparently. After reports of protesters hurling Molotov cocktails, Boucher grabbed a rock as part of his disguise. So I can pick up a rock, and it will be part of my disguise when they tell me that I'm breaching the peace? He breached the peace. It's that simple. On Notre Dame Street, they encountered another line of protesters who quickly realized that the men were cops. The confrontation was captured in a YouTube video which became an exhibit during the hearing. "This is our line," protester David Coles told the officers. "Take your mask off. Put the rock down, man. You're cops. Get out of town." Boucher replied with the French equivalent of "go," give him the good old one, And the cops eventually slunk behind the line of riot police. We've all seen this video. It's very telling. The cops eventually stuck behind a line of riot police. Boucher admitted to swearing at Coles, but told the hearing that he was playing the role of a protester and, as such, had to use their type of language to preserve his safety. The committee disagreed, saying it was frustration at being unmasked that unleashed his invective. The words of Sergeant Boucher, you see, it's all getting down to the service. His service to that public citizen. That's all that they're debating in this whole thing, which is ridiculous. They don't care about what really happened. We're not going to investigate the fact that police are dressing up as protesters, not to protect themselves or to protect the public by doing intelligence, because they already have enough ability to do all the intelligence needed. All of the intelligence is already gathered. They already have everything. All they need left is for you to continue to use it through the one world currency being enacted. And the one world currency is not even going to be called the one world currency at first. It's going to be called a fix to something in the States, a unionized money, something that will defy the borders of states and then grow from that extent and perhaps be adopted worldwide. And you will only be able to use it, not because you have a chip in your hand. Forget about the chip, it's over. It's a 5-point system. A 5-point system. This has been spoken about many times, over and over already. Okay, there's the 5 points. You can look them up for yourself. The mark of the beast, all the stuff in Revelations. If these guys are using the book, as William Cooper said, all we have to do is see that the whole thing is a story, right? Okay, and then we can just change that tiny little end, right? The trio were also acquitted of not identifying themselves as police after the committee ruled the protesters' taunts didn't consist of a formal demand for the officers to identify themselves. Boucher's disciplinary hearing is slated for March 28th in Montreal. So he's going for a disciplinary hearing about what he did and all that stuff to see if because all of this is just a police committee investigation and all that stuff that's been, promoted because all of the corporations known as unions and law factions and stuff like that, they petitioned to have this inquiry done. But you're asking the police to investigate the police. So all that they're doing is checking out the charges of what this guy might have done. Instead of, it's like he's on a higher level, because he's a cop, he's allowed to do all these things. But if any person who has not gone and become a police officer they lose all their rights. But police officer persons have higher rights than us, so they're allowed to violate the public because they're trying to serve the public in some way. This is double negative stuff. They're just screwing around with the mathematics of everything. It's very easy to see. Grasshopper Media.